Hi all, myself Professor Disha Shukla and I am conducting the subject wireless communication. My today's topic is channel and co-channel interference. What do you mean by co-channel interference? So, co-channel interference or CCI exists when two or more devices are operating on the same frequency channel. That is, when number of devices are operating on the same frequency range, then it is a possibility that the co-channel interference may occur. Co-channel interference is not actually an interference, but it is more a sort of a congestion. That is, congestion is number of signals getting connected to each other or mixing into each other is called a congestion. It hinders the performance by increasing the wait time as the same signal is used by the different devices. That is, because the same signal is used by the different devices, it may be possible that it increases the wait time and hence it hinders the performance of the system. The CCI forces other devices to defer the transmission and wait in a queue till the first device finishes using the transmission line and the channel is free. That is, the co-channel interference, it will force the other devices to defer the transmission, that is to change the transmission and wait in a queue. That is, it will create a queue wherein all the signals will be waiting until the first device finishes using the transmission line and the channel will be free. That is, until and unless the first device that has started the transmission, until and unless it finishes the transmission, all the other devices will wait in the queue. And after that, when the channel is free, the other devices get a chance to transmit. The 802.11 protocol is designed to address this situation and utilize the channel in the most effective way. So the 802.11 protocol is the one that we have designed to address this situation, that is to address this queue situation, and then finally let the user use the transmission line or use the channel in the most efficient way. Co-channel cells are the ones that uses the same set of frequencies in a coverage area. That is, it will be using the concept of frequency reuse. We have already seen what is frequency reuse. Frequency reuse is generally needed because you cannot find different frequency ranges in your assigned channel. You have to reuse that particular frequency so that you number of users that we have can all use the channel efficiently. So co-channel cells are those cells that uses the same set of frequencies in the coverage area. That is, in a particular coverage area, all the cells that have the same frequency are called the co-channel cells, because they are using the concept of frequency reuse. So co-channel interference is the interference between the signals from the co-channel cells. That is, all the cells that are co-channeled, when the interference occurs between them, between the signals that they transmit, it is called a co-channel interference. Now, unlike the thermal noise, which can be overcome by increasing the signal to noise ratio, co-channel interference cannot be combated by simply increasing the carrier power of the transmission. That is, if we have a thermal noise, what is a thermal noise? Thermal noise is generally generated because of the excess vibration of the atoms or the molecules of a particular element through which the antennas are defined or the transmission lines are defined. That is, whenever the transmission is going on, there will be the vibration of those elements, those atoms and molecules, and due to that a thermal noise is generated. So that can be overcome by increasing the signal to noise ratio. When you increase the signal to noise ratio, you can overcome the thermal noise. But co-channel interference cannot be overcome by simply increasing the carrier power of the transmitter. That is, if you increase the carrier power, that is the signal strength of the transmitter, it is not necessary that the signal to noise ratio increases, or it's not necessary that the co-channel interference will decrease. This is because an increase in the carrier transmit power increases the interference to the neighboring co-channel cells. Because when you go and increase the the carrier transmit power, it may be possible that the interference to the neighboring co-channel cells also increases. So it is not possible to decrease the co-channel interference by increasing the carrier transmit power. So to reduce the co-channel interference, co-channel cells must be physically separated by a minimum distance to provide sufficient isolation due to the propagation. So this is the only possibility that we can use, is that whenever you provide the same frequency range to the cells, that is whenever you create co-channel cells, they must be physically separated by some amount of minimum distance that have been calculated, so that what does happen is that the isolation due to this propagation will be sufficient and it will be providing proper distance. I mean, that distance will be helpful so that the co-channel interference does not occur. So what are the biggest reasons of co-channel interference? Wi-Fi is 100 times more sensitive to other Wi-Fi than a non-Wi-Fi interference. So any Wi-Fi radio that hears another Wi-Fi radio on the same channel will differ and result in a medium contention, overhead and delay. So as it is shown in this figure, despite a 3-channel reuse pattern, the APs, that the access points on the same channel, will hear each other and differ. For example, if AP1 on the channel 6 hears the preamble transmission of the nearby AP2 that is also transmitting on the channel 6, then AP1 will differ and cannot transmit at the same time. And likewise, all the clients that are associated to the AP1 must also differ transmission if they hear the preamble transmission of AP2, that is this one. So all this differs will create a medium contention overhead and it will consume the valuable airtime, because you have two basic service set on the same channel that can hear to each other. So the co-channel interference is also often referred to as overlapping basic service set, that is OBSS. Now in reality, the Wi-Fi clients are the primary causes of OBSS and CCI interference. As shown here in this figure, in the figure 2, if a client is associated to AP1 is transmitting on channel 6 over here, it is possible that AP2 and any other client that are associated with AP2 will hear the physical preamble of the client and must defer any transmission. So the co-channel interference is the top cause of the needless airtime consumption that can be minimized with proper wireless LAN designs that with the best practices. Now what most people do not understand about the CCI is the fact that the clients are the number one causes of the CCI. That is, we should understand that CCI is not static and it will always change due to the mobility of the client devices. As the client devices will move, there will be the changes in the co-channel interference. Now as shown here, because of the fact that only 3 channels are available in this 2.4 gigahertz band, and because of the CCI caused by the client, CCI is pretty much inevitable in the 2.4 gigahertz band. One strategy to reduce the CCI is the 2.5 gigahertz band is to turn off a lot of the 2.4 gigahertz radios in the dual frequency access point and relay more of the coverage power by the 5 gigahertz AP radios to meet the density needs. While it is the most impossible to prevent the CCI in 2.4 GHz, the airtime consumption that is a result of CCI can be minimized and possibly avoided with a good 5 GHz wireless LAN design, simply because they are more available channels. Since the CCI is such a big problem, why is the SD threshold of detecting an 802.11 preamble so sensitive? So probably the best answer is to minimize the hidden nodes. Now in the early days of Wi-Fi, most wireless LANs were designed for wide coverage. A sensitive SD threshold helps to ensure that 802.11 stations hear each other even at a great distance. However, Most of the modern days wireless LANs are designed for the users and the device's capacity as opposed to the coverage. The sensitive SD threshold instead causes the medium contention overhead because the stations from overlapping basic service sets can hear to each other. So what is the difference between now the co-channel interference and the adjacent channel interference? There are some of the basic criteria on which the differences have been mentioned, and we'll see each of them in detail. So the first thing is the description, that is what do you mean by co-channel interference and what do you mean by adjacent channel interference. So a co-channel interference can be described as the interference between the signals from co-channel cells, whereas the adjacent channel interference can be described as the interference that results from the signal that is adjacent in the frequency to the required signal. That is, co-channel interference is the interference that occurs between the co-channels, that is the cells that are located physically apart but they work on the same frequency range, whereas the adjacent channel interference is something that results from the signal that is adjacent in the frequency, that is from the cells that are located adjacent to each other. The source of co-channel interference is from a device that is using the same channel, whereas for the adjacent channel interference it comes from the channels on the nearby frequency. The occurrence, co-channel majorly occurs on the same channel, obviously because the all the cells that are working on the same range are interfering, whereas the adjacent channel interference occurs from a different channel. Causes, a large co-channel reuse ratio improves the transmission quality because of the smaller level of the co-channel interference. But in adjacent channel interference, it can also be caused by the frequency reuse, and when the frequency reuse is high, there are more chances for interference because of the operation. That is, a large co-channel reuse ratio, whenever we are using a large co-channel, I mean so many channels are made co-channel, that is they will be using the same frequency range, it increases the reuse ratio and hence the level of the co-channel interference also increases, whereas the adjacent channel interference increases because it can be caused by the frequency reuse and when the frequency reuse is high. And how can you minimize the things? So to minimize a co-channel interference or to reduce the co-channel interference and provide an efficient isolation, co-channel cells are physically separated by a minimum distance, whereas the adjacent cell interference can be minimized by proper filtering and channel assignment strategies. That is, if you minimize the adjacent channel interference can be minimized by proper filtering and channel assignment strategies that we have already seen. So what is co-channel interference? Co-channel interference is the interference or the congestion that is created because of the co-channel cells. What are the co-channel cells? The co-channel cells are the cells that work on the same frequency range. See, for example, we have a large, what actually happens is we have a large area and that area is divided into different hexagonal cells, as we have already seen. Now we cannot provide each cell with a different frequency range, so it is necessary to reuse that frequency range, or we need to and when we actually use that particular frequency range for another cell, we are creating a co-channel, because what are co-channels? Co-channels are the cells that work on the same frequency range. So when we create co-channel, there can be a possibility that there can be an interference that will be generated because of the transmission from the co-channel cells. And this co-channel cell interference can only be decreased or minimized by providing proper isolation or when they are separated physically. So this is all about the co-channel interference and adjacent channel interference. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you.